everybody, it's Maddy here. Today I'm going to show you how you can crochet these absolutely adorable and cute crochet loaf chickens. They're a chicken that is in a loaf. It's so cute. And I need to make an entire army of these things. I need to go buy more yarn. I probably shouldn't do that. I have a lot of yarn. They're the cutest little things. I love them. This is a beginner-friendly tutorial, so if you're new to crocheting, this is a good project to do if you just learned how to crochet. This uses the single crochet, a double crochet, and a slip stitch, plus chains. It's also kind of no-sew because you don't really do much sewing. The only thing that you do with the sew on is the beak, but that's it because we're gonna stitch the comb onto the head of the chicken. So it's pretty easy. These are our chickens, by the way. They're the cutest little thing. Also, look at the sunset. It's so pretty. Okay, you can go crochet now. Let's begin with the tutorial. The type of yarn I'm going to be using today for the chicken is an acrylic bulky weight yarn. I'm using I Love This Chunky yarn. This is my favorite because it's so soft. You can get this at Hobby Lobby. And then I'm also going to be using a size 6.5 crochet hook. I also forgot to mention, but if you want to use a medium weight acrylic yarn for the actual chicken, you can as well. It will just be a little bit smaller. So to begin making our chicken, we're going to start off by making a magic ring. Now to do that, you're going to take the tail end of your yarn and you're going to hold that in your left hand like this. And then with your right hand, you're going to take that long strand and you're going to wrap it around 2 fingers like this, turn your hand, and you're going to make an X on top of your hand with the yarn. And then I'm just going to hold this with my pinky. Once you have the X like this, go ahead and take your hook, put it underneath this first strand here, and we're going to grab this long strand and just pull that all the way out. And then you're going to turn your crochet hook up, just like that. And then from here, we're going to yarn over with this long strand, and then we're going to pull that strand through the loop we have on our hook. So just pull that all the way through, just like that. And now, when you slip that off your fingers, you will have made a magic ring. Now making a magic ring can be very difficult, especially if you're a beginner or if you've never made one before. So if you're having a difficult time making the magic ring, I do have a more detailed tutorial and I'll link that in the description if you're having trouble making the magic ring. Once you have your magic ring, we're going to go ahead and start on the first round. For this round, we're going to put 6 single crochets into our magic ring, and I'll show you how to do that. Make sure to hold your magic ring in place because it'll make crocheting into the ring a bit easier. To make a single crochet, we're going to take our hook, we're going to put it into our magic ring like this. We're going to yarn over and pull out a loop, so pulling the strand out of the magic ring like this. You should have 2 loops on your hook. From here, we're going to yarn over and pull this strand through both of these loops. So just pull all the way through, just like that. And now you've made your first single crochet. Let's go ahead and make another single crochet. We're going to take our hook, put it into our magic ring, yarn over, pull out a loop out of the magic ring, just like that. And then from here, we're going to yarn over and pull through both of the loops. And now we've made 2 single crochets. Let's make our next single crochet. We're going to go ahead and insert our hook through the magic ring, yarn over, pull out a loop, so you should have 2 loops on your hook. And then from here, we're going to yarn over and pull through both loops. And now we have 3 single crochets, and you can count them by seeing that each one of these 2 loops that makes a V counts as one of the single crochets. So here we have 1, 2, and 3. Let's go ahead and make 3 more single crochets, so we have a total of 6. Insert your hook through the magic ring, yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, and pull through both loops. There's 4. 5, and let's make 1 more. Just like that. So now we have a total of 6 single crochets in our magic ring. From here, we're going to tighten our magic ring, and to do that, you'll just go ahead and pull on this tail end of the yarn. Just go ahead and hold this in place, and then pull on that string, and it will tighten up that magic ring. So go ahead and pull that nice and tight, and you should be left with something that looks like this. From here, we're going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch that we made at the very beginning of this first round, which is going to be this first stitch here. To make a slip stitch, we're just going to take our hook, we're going to insert it through that first stitch, so just put your hook through both of those loops like this. Go ahead and yarn over and pull out a loop, and then you'll have the 2 loops on your hook. From here, we're going to pull this loop into this one, so just pull that back through there. And then to tighten your slip knot, just go ahead and pull your hook up to make this loop bigger, and then just pull this back down. to tighten up that slip stitch. And now we've completed the first round. To begin round 2, we're going to go ahead and chain 1. To make a chain, you're just going to take your hook, yarn over, and pull through the loop you have on your hook right there to make 1 chain. For the second round, we're going to be doing increases in each of these stitches. And an increase is pretty much just 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So I'll show you how to do that. So starting in this first stitch, this is the same one that we had made our slip stitch into. We're going to go ahead and put our first single crochet. So we're going to take our hook, put it through that stitch, yarn over, pull out a loop. So you should have the 2 loops on your hook. From here, yarn over, and pull through both loops to make our first single crochet. Once you have 1 single crochet, we'll go ahead and make another single crochet into that same stitch to make it an increase. So we're going to take our hook, put it through that same stitch, yarn over, and pull out a loop. So you should have the 2 loops on your hook, and then yarn over and pull through. And now we've made 2 single crochets in 1 stitch, and that is how you make an increase. We're going to continue making these increases in each of the stitches all the way around. I'll show you again how to do that. So in this next stitch, we'll go ahead and make 1 single crochet. So into your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through both loops. There's our first single crochet. Let's go ahead and make another. Into your hook, yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. Just like that. Once you make the 2 single crochets in that stitch, we'll go ahead and move on to the next. There's 1 single crochet, and I'll go ahead and put another in that same stitch to make it an increase. Just like that. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this, doing 2 single crochets in each of the stitches. Once you've made it all the way around, we're going to go ahead and join this round just like we did in the first round by making a slip stitch into that first stitch. Again, to make a slip stitch, you'll just go ahead and take your hook, insert it through the first stitch that we made at the very beginning of this round. We're going to yarn over, pull out a loop, and then put this loop in through here. Just like that. And then to tighten that slip stitch, just pull your hook up, and then pull this back down to tighten that slip stitch. And now we've completed round 2. To begin round 3, we're going to go ahead and chain 1 just like we did in the previous round. And again, to make a chain, you'll just yarn over and pull through. Just like that. For this third round, what we're going to do is we're going to be putting an increase in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, an increase, 1 single crochet, an increase, 1 single crochet. And we're going to be repeating that pattern all the way around. And again, I'll show you how to do that. In this first stitch, we're going to go ahead and make an increase, which is just the 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So let's go ahead and make our first single crochet. We're going to take our hook, insert it through the first stitch, yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2. So there's our first single crochet. Let's go ahead and make another single crochet in that same stitch to make it an increase. Just like that. In the next stitch, we'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet. So go ahead and insert your hook, yarn over, pull out a loop, yarn over, and pull through 2 to make 1 single crochet. We'll go ahead and move on to the next stitch, and in that stitch, we'll go ahead and put 2 single crochets, which is that increase. So there's 1 single crochet. Let's go ahead and make another in that same stitch. Just like that. In the next stitch, go ahead and put 1 single crochet. And then of course in the next we'll go ahead and make another increase. So there's 1 single crochet and 2. I'm going to go ahead and finish the rest of this round repeating this pattern that I've showed you. So since the last thing I did was an increase of the 2 single crochets in the 1 stitch, I'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in the next. I'm going to go ahead and finish this up and then we can begin on round 4. Alright, just made it all the way around, and we'll go ahead and join this round just like we did in the previous round by making a slip stitch into that first stitch. So we're going to take our hook, insert it through that first stitch, yarn over, pull out a loop, so you should have the 2 loops in your hook, and then pull this in through here. Just like that, and go ahead and tighten it. From here, we're going to go ahead and chain 1, and we can begin on round 4. For round 4, we're going to make an increase in the first stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, 1 single crochet in the next, and we're going to be repeating that all the way around. And I'll show you how to do that. So starting in this first stitch, we're going to make an increase. So we're going to put 2 single crochets into that first stitch. So take our hook and make our first single crochet in that first stitch. There's 1. Let's make 1 more single crochet to make it an increase. and 2. In the next 2 stitches, we're going to put 1 single crochet in each of them. So in this next stitch, go ahead and put 1 single crochet, just like that. And then in the next, we'll put 1 single crochet, just like that. So this is going to be our pattern. An increase, 1 single crochet, 1 single crochet. And we're going to repeat that all the way around. So in this next stitch, we'll go ahead and make an increase. There's 1 single crochet. Let's go ahead and make another. And 2. In the next 2 stitches, again, we're going to make just 1 single crochet in each of those. 1, and then we'll move on to the next. And 1. I'm going to go ahead and continue this all the way to the end of this round. And since I just finished the 2 single crochets in 2 separate stitches, I'll go ahead and make an increase in the next. Alright, I just made it all the way around, and now we're going to make a slip stitch at the beginning of this stitch to close up this 4th round, just like we've been doing in the last rounds. So again, to do that, we're going to take our hook, insert it through that first stitch that we made at the very beginning, yarn over, pull out a loop, so you should have the 2 loops on your hook, and then from here, we're going to put this loop in through here to make a slip stitch. And then to tighten that, just pull your loop up and then tighten it back down. From here, we're going to go ahead and chain 1, and now we can begin on row 5. For round 5, we're going to be making an increase, and then in the next 3 stitches, we'll put 1 single crochet in each of those, and we're going to be repeating that all the way around. And again, I'll show you how to do that. So starting in this first stitch, we're going to make an increase, which is going to be the 2 single crochets in 1 stitch. So let's start off with our first single crochet. So there's 1 and 2. So after the increase, we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1 single crochet. We'll move on to the next. There's a single crochet again, and let's make 1 more single crochet in the next stitch, just like that. So here we have an increase, a single crochet, single crochet, single crochet, and that's the pattern we're going to be repeating. So after the 3 single crochets in the 3 stitches, we'll go ahead and make another increase in the next stitch. There's 1 single crochet and 2. After the increase, we'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in the next 3 stitches. So there's 1, we'll move on to the next. 2, 1 more in the next, and 3. After the single crochets in each of the 3 stitches, we'll go ahead and make another increase. And we're just going to go ahead and repeat this pattern to make it all the way to the very end. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Alright, just made it to the very end of the round, and again, we're going to close this round up by making a slip stitch in the first stitch that we made at the very beginning. So we're going to take our hook, insert our hook through that first stitch that we made at the beginning, yarn over, and pull out a loop, and then put this loop in through here to make a slip stitch, and then pull that up to tighten it. From here, go ahead and chain 1, and we can begin on row 6. For round 6, we're going to make an increase in the first stitch, and then we're going to put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches, and we're going to be repeating that all the way around. I'll show you how to do that. Starting in this first stitch, we're going to make an increase. So go ahead and make your first single crochet. There's 1, and we'll go ahead and put another single crochet in that same stitch to make it an increase. After the increase, we'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And so this is the pattern we're going to be repeating all the way around. So after the 4 single crochets in the 4 stitches, we'll go ahead and make our increase. There's 1 single crochet and 2. After the increase, we'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in the next 4 stitches. Starting in the first one, there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then after that, we'll go ahead and make an increase in the next stitch. And we're going to be repeating this pattern till we make it to the end of this round. Alright, I just made it all the way around. And again, to finish off this round, we're going to make a slip stitch into the first stitch that we made at the very beginning, just like we've been doing. So enter your hook, yarn over, and go ahead and make your slip stitch, just like that. From here, we're going to go ahead and chain 1, and we'll go ahead and begin on the 7th round. For this round, we're going to start off by making an increase in the first stitch, and then 1 single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So starting in this first stitch, we'll go ahead and make our increase. There's 1 single crochet, and 2 crochet. Toby is making a mess. Toby! Little boy, look at this little boy. Toby! Look at the camera. That's Toby. Look how cute Toby is, everyone. Toby, get out of there. He's eating the cords. Toby, stop. So after the increase, we'll go ahead and make a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So starting in this first stitch, we'll go ahead and make 1 single crochet. There's 1, in the second, 1 single crochet, 3, 4, and then 1 more. And for this round, we're just going to be repeating that all the way around. So an increase and then a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. So after that 5th stitch, we'll go ahead and make another increase. There's 1 and 2. And then after that, we'll go ahead and do a single crochet in the next 5 stitches. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this till I make it to the end of the round. Alright, just made it all the way around, and we'll go ahead and finish off this round by making a slip stitch in the first stitch that we made at the very beginning. So just like we've been doing, just go ahead and make a slip stitch and make that tight. From here, we'll go ahead and chain 1, and we can begin on row 8. Row 8 is going to be very simple. All we're going to do is put 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. And we're going to be doing this for the next 11 rows till we get to row 18. And I'll just show you how to do that. So starting in this first stitch, we'll go ahead and put 1 single crochet in there, just like that. And then we'll just go ahead and move on to the next and put 1 single crochet in there. And we're just going to repeat this till you make it all the way around. Put in 1 single crochet in each of the stitches till you make it to the end. Alright, I just finished row 8, and as you can see, it's starting to curl up a little bit, which is good. You'll just want to make sure that you flip it out this way, so that way the back of the stitch is going to be like the inside of this bowl that we're making, which is going to turn into the chicken eventually. But anyway, once you make it to the end of round 8, you'll just go ahead and slip stitch to finish off that round, just like we've been doing, and then chain 1. From here, we'll begin on row 9, and row 9 is going to be the same thing as row 8, where we just put 1 single crochet in each of the stitches all the way around. And we're going to be repeating these rows of just single crochets around till we make it to row 18. I'm actually going to go ahead and finish making all of the rows till I make it to row 18, and then I'll show you what we'll do next after that. You want to make sure you keep track of how many rows you're doing as well. I'm going to go ahead and finish this, so I will see you when I get to the end of round 18. Alright, just finished the 18th row, and you should have something that looks like a little basket, just like this. Cute little basket. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to take this basket and we're going to turn it into a chicken by folding it in half and stuffing it and everything. But first thing we're going to do is we're going to make this tail here. And then we'll put this together and stuff it and make the face and everything. And to make the tail, we're going to go ahead and chain 3. So just yarn over and pull through to make 1 chain, 2, and 3. Once you have 3 chains, we're going to fold it in half like this, directly in half of where these 3 chains are, and we're going to be working along both of these rows that we have folded together. So if you look right on top, you should have 1 stitch and 1 stitch on both sides with how we had folded this together, and we're going to be working into both of these rows. I'll show you how to do that. So after you chain 3, we're going to go ahead and make a single crochet in the first stitch through both of the rows. You're going to take your hook, you're going to put it through this first stitch, and then the stitch on the other side of that fold. So it should look something like this. And that's where you're going to make your single crochet. So go ahead and yarn over and pull out a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops. So now we've made 1 little ruffle of our tail. We're going to repeat this 4 times. So go ahead and chain 3 again. 1, 2, and 3. After you chain 3, we'll go ahead and make a single crochet in the next stitch, but going through both sides of this folded together area. So there's the first stitch and the next stitch, like that. And you'll go ahead and make your single crochet. So now we've made 2 of the little ruffles. We'll go ahead and chain 3 again. 1, 2, 3. And then single crochet into the next stitch, making sure that you're going through both of them. And then make your slip stitch. Single crochet. And then one more time, we're going to go ahead and chain 3 and then single crochet into the next stitches. Just like that. And now, as you can see, we have made the tail of our little chicken. It has these little ruffles on it. And now we're at the point where we can start stuffing the chicken. And to stuff it, you're just going to take your stuffing and put it into your little basket, or chicken, or whatever it's called. You also don't have to stuff it all the way, because we're going to start putting this part together, and if there's a little more room, you can finish the rest of your stuffing. So I just like to stuff it a little bit. And now what we're going to do is we're going to be making slip stitches in both the front stitch and the back stitch of this thing to close it up. So just like how we made those single crochets in both sides of your stitches, we're going to be making slip stitches all the way down like that. And to do that, you're just going to take your hook, put it through the first stitch, and then this back stitch back here, like this, and then go ahead and make your slip stitch. So yarn over and pull out a loop, and then we're going to put this loop in through here, just like that. And we're going to repeat that all the way down, almost all the way down. Stick our hook through the first stitch, and then that second stitch, and go ahead and make your slip stitch. I'm going to go ahead and repeat this till I've made it almost all the way down. You don't want to go all the way across because we're going to be making the comb of the chicken with red. Alright, made it to around this part of our chicken, and now I'm going to go ahead and finish stuffing the rest of it with my stuffing. Alright, once you're happy with the way it is stuffed, we're going to continue making these slip stitches till we have 5 stitches that are not worked in, because that's where we're going to put the red comb on the chicken. So I'm going to count backwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we just need one more slip stitch right there. I'm going to go ahead and make that. Just like that. And then once you finish those slip stitches and you have 5 stitches left, we're going to go ahead and chain 1. And we can go ahead and trim this yarn. And then to fasten it off, you'll just pull your hook all the way out till the tail comes out. And then just pull on that to make sure everything's nice and tight. And then to hide the string, I just like to stuff it into the chicken like that. And now you should have something that looks like this. It should have a little tail and no head, because we got to make the head. Now we're going to go ahead and attach our red yarn to our chicken to make the comb. Now preferably you would want a chunky weight yarn that matches the same weight as the yarn that you used for the chicken, but I don't have a chunky red yarn. I only have a medium weight yarn, but that's okay. But preferably you'd want to use the same type of yarn that you used for the chicken, but this will work fine. To attach our yarn, we're going to take our hook and we're going to put it through the front and the back loop of that next stitch, and then we're going to take our yarn and we're going to pull that all the way through. And then just pull that up till the tail comes out like that. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and tie a simple knot. Just like that. Make sure that's nice and tight. Again, to hide this tail, I'm just going to stuff it into the chicken so I don't have to look at it right now. And then we're going to take our hook again, put it back through those same stitches, and then we're going to yarn over and pull up a loop. And then from here, just go ahead and chain 1. And now we've attached our red yarn. To begin making our comb, we're going to go ahead and chain 2. 1 and 2. So you should have a total of the 3 chains after we've attached it. And then from here, we're going to make 2 double crochets into the next stitch. And again, we're going to be going through both the front and the back stitch. To make a double crochet, we're going to go ahead and yarn over, insert our hook through the stitch, again making sure that you go through the front and the back, yarn over again, and pull out a loop. So you should have 3 loops on your hook. From here, we're going to go ahead and yarn over, and we're going to pull through 2 loops. And then we're going to yarn over again and pull through the last 2 loops. And that's how you make a double crochet. Let's make one more double crochet into this same stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop. So you should have the 3 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through 2. Just like that. From here, we're going to make a single crochet into this next stitch. Again, going through both the front and the back. So stick your hook through, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over and pull through both loops to make a single crochet. After the single crochet, go ahead and chain 2, 1 and 2. And next, we're going to make 2 more double crochets into this next stitch. So yarn over, insert your hook through the stitch, going through both the front and the back, yarn over, pull out a loop, so you should have the 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through the last 2. Let's make one more double crochet in that same stitch, so we have a total of 2. Just like that. After you make the 2 double crochets, we're going to go ahead and do a slip stitch into this last stitch right here. So we're going to take our hook, insert it through the stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then we're going to put this loop in through here. Just like that. And then to tighten it, just pull your hook up and pull that back down. Just like that. And now, to finish this off, we're going to go ahead and yarn over and pull through once to make 1 chain. And we can go ahead and trim our red yarn. And then to fasten this off, just pull your hook all the way out till the tail comes out, and then pull on that tail to make sure everything's nice and tight. And now we have almost completed our chicken. Look how cute that is. Before we sew on the beak and the eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and sew this tail in. I'm gonna go ahead and take my yarn needle and weave that tail through. And then I'm just gonna take that needle and put it through some of the red stitches, because you don't want this to go through any of the blue, because then you're gonna see that red tail. So I'm just gonna pull that through a few of the stitches, and then I'm gonna take my needle and go back through like the same stitches, but I'm gonna like go on top of this one area so it doesn't go just back through, if that made any sense. I don't really know how to describe how to sew in the ends. I just kind of do it. It just takes a little bit of practice. But once you sew it through a few times, you can then go ahead and trim the rest of that yarn. And now your chicken has the little combs. For the beak of the chicken, I'm going to be using a medium weight yellow yarn, but again, if you have that chunky weight yarn, it will work a bit better than the medium weight. I just have the medium weight, so that's what I'm going to be using. For the beak, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a long strand of that yellow. It should be about that long-ish. It doesn't have to be precise, because we're going to cut off most of this later. And then we're going to take one of the ends of our piece of string, and we're going to weave it through our yarn needle, just like that. And then taking our chicken where the head is, we're going to take our needle and we're going to put it through where we want the beak to be. So I kind of like to look above just to make sure I'm going through it evenly, and you can look from the side. That's where the beak is going to be. So I'm just going to pull that almost all the way through. I do like to leave a tail here, so that way sewing this in is a little bit easier. And then taking my yarn needle again, I'm going to put it back through the same way that we previously ran the string through, and pull that through just like this. And you should have a loop that comes around it. And then when you kind of tighten that, it will look a little bit like a beak. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue weaving this through, making those little loops onto the little head of the chicken till we like how the beak looks. And then once you're happy with the way the beak looks, we'll go ahead and take our yarn and we're going to weave it through the back of some of these stitches. So you want it to be like deep in there, but still like in the stitches. Does that make sense? I'm just gonna like weave that through a few stitches like that, and then I'm gonna pull that string all the way through, just like that, because we want to hide this tail. And then from here, I'm just gonna take my needle, put it through straight all the way in the chicken till it comes out some other part of the chicken, and just pull that all the way through, just like that. And then to cut this string off, I'm gonna pull on that string a little bit like this, and then trim it, so that way the string gets stuck like somewhere in the chicken, and that way you can't see it. And that's how I sew in the end. I'm going to do the same for this other strand, and then we'll glue on the eyes. And now we almost have our finished chicken. We just need to put the eyes on the little bird. This thing looks so silly. For the eyes, I'm going to be using these little buttons. Now, I don't have the safety eyes that you would normally use for like crochet animals and stuff. So I normally sew on my eyes, or I will use buttons. But if you do have those like safety eyes, they look like this, you can use those as well. Those probably will look better actually. The buttons add a little bit of character, so that's what I'm going to be using today. And to glue them on, I'm just going to be using a hot glue gun. So I'll just take a little bit of glue. Careful not to burn yourself if you are using hot glue. And then plop it onto the chicken, just like that. That looks good. And then you'll want to make sure that you put it on the same spot as the other side. That looks pretty good. And now you have a chicken. That's how you crochet a cute, adorable, tiny chicken. It's the cutest little thing ever that you possibly can make. Especially since I love chickens, this is definitely one of my favorite crochet projects that I've made. That and the crochet chicken coasters. I really love those chicken coasters. I probably should make some more. But I have a tutorial on that if you want to watch that one next. And of course, if you have any questions, don't forget to leave them down below in the comments, and give this video a like if it helped you. I hope it did. I hope I'm a good teacher. I don't know if I am. Y'all tell me I am, which I appreciate all of those comments, by the way. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye! Do y'all want to see something, chickens? I made a crochet chicken.